Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I'll bring to you a bit of a dual video into which I want to talk about two units that I'm surprised haven't made an appearance as like tech choices. One is pretty obvious, I guess, but understandable why it's not here, and the other one not so much. Right? So, today why are we here? GW dropped more changes for the Grodmus detachments because it's easier to patch the funny things than fix the bad things. But we see that Tactical Brigade, you no longer can attach a Beast Boss on Squigosaur or the Death Killer Wartrike to the Commandos. Don't know why they bothered with this one or why they came back around to it. Nobody was doing it anyway. However, that did get me thinking about a war boss that is infantry and how we haven't seen him in Tactical Brigade. Yes, you probably understand where I'm going with this. In Tactical Brigade, we have not seen Gazgul Thraka. And I I can understand why for two reasons, right? 235 points. You could just free up 235 points because you aren't focusing on the WA. Uh, but the other thing is you attach the Mega Knobs, which get highlighted here in Sneaky Stalking, that you cannot put Sneaky Stalking on them. So I can understand why you avoid using that unit. However, just food for thought, yeah, you won't be able to give your ablative wounds, stealth, and the benefit of cover. Right? That's all you're really using them for. However, can I interest you in a Gazgul that has a sweep that hits on twos, 12 attacks, strength 9, right? Because is a war boss, right? I think we keep forgetting that. Is a war boss. So can issue tactics, right? Why not a strength 9 sweep, AP2 damage 2, that's plus 1 to hit and plus 1 to wound? And if the law is active, crits on 5s and gives lethals, and could possibly give sustained. Now, that's wishful thinking, but at the same time, just a little bit surprised that we haven't seen Gaz as much as we do when any other detachment pops up. Usually goes, oh, bam, Warhorde. Bam. I think, no, nobody's tried the Big Hunt. I take that back. Nobody's tried Cult of Speed from what I know. Dreadmob, bam. Green Tide, bam. Bully Boys, bam. So, like, Gaz pops up here and there, and it's just a little bit interesting that not going for the Strength 9 plus 1 to wound sweep, but also, what happens after Gaz loses the Mega Knobs? Usually, you just hope for Makari to keep you going, but what if now, because you aren't attached to Mega Knobs, but you are still infantry, and you do not count as a Mega Knob yourself, you get stealth and the benefit of cover. Now, mind you, the benefit of cover is not saving you on Makari's invulnerable save. But outside of that, it might keep you from having to roll your 4-ups as Gaz. You do have a 2-up save. And stealth is pretty nice. So, a little food for thought on that one. Because we are seeing, like, a big mech in Mega Armor leading Flash gets. So I was like, well, there's some more Mega Armor around here to be shared. Oh, the other thing that I knew there was one more thing that I was forgetting. That Mort's Roar, Rapid Fire 4, so that would take this to 16 shots. Yeah, plus 1 to hit. And with Tactical Retreat gives you access to fallback, shoot, and charge. I just think it's cute. I don't know. It's cute enough that maybe you want to try to do it. If anybody has been taking Gaz and Tactical Brigade, I'd love to hear the results of that. But moving on, there's another unit that I was like, well, what if you took this and it just helped your game plan? That was the Boom Decker Snaz Wagon. I know nobody loves the buggies, but it does have OC, right? It's three of those things. And for 80 points, it's a vehicle with grenades. And While an enemy unit is within 6 inches of this model that isn't a monster or vehicle, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. It has a 150 by 95 millimeter base, 12 inches of movement. We've seen similar things get around the board with GSC and the Achilles Ridge Runners. I don't remember their exact base, but I feel like it's close. But you know that whole thing in Outlander Claw. So, and we've seen a lot of things moving around lately. There are mounted units abound right now. So it's not like you can't just move around the board like you've been. So I was thinking that, you know, you put out this aura of -1 to hit, so that frees you up to use something different instead of stealth and benefit of cover. And I would say that if you do go this route, maybe you don't worry about it on the Mega Knobs as much, because technically everybody's getting it, right? But that's just a harebrained idea, scatterbrain idea, whatever. In that fact, because then I looked at it as like, well, what else do I really want? If I'm going for range, I don't really know if I care that much about strength and range. Not too many units in Orks care about both. If this one, right? This is probably the only one worth doubling up. And reroll charge rolls is cool, but you know, uh, don't really need to risk taking mortal wounds over that, really. So I guess I was more so thinking in the lines of for 80 points, in certain times you don't have to risk yourself taking mortal wounds to double up on them. But I don't think it's I don't think it's necessary. However, I did remember one thing. What if you take -1 to hit and put that in a detachment that doesn't have access to -1 to hit? The one that Gaz is always in. Warhorde. Yeah, Warhorde. So, we already know why Gaz is in Warhorde, but I do want to say to the Boom Deck of Snazwagon, for 80 points, an objective doer, a fast objective doer, with grenades, uh, why not spread an aura of -1 to hit and Arta's Nails whenever your opponent tries to do something that isn't towards your Boom Deck of Snazwagon, right? Because we're just treating this as a buffing piece that is around. You then subtract 1 from the wound roll. Until the end of phase, each time an attack targets your unit, subtract 1 to wound. So -1 to hit, -1 to wound, and the same way with Kareen, right? If you go, well, I don't bet on Kareen with my truck, so I don't want you to use that as a counterpoint against the Boom Deck of Snazwagon. But I will say that it is still a vehicle with Deadly Demise 1, right? So you get lucky on a Kareen, or unlucky, I guess, if they finally remove the buffing piece. And this goes to my kind of philosophy lately of damned if you do, damned if you don't type of units, where it's like you can't leave the Ripper Swarm alone in Assimilation Swarm, you can't leave the Psychomancer alone in Canoptic Court. The what was it? It's Montka, the Stealth Battle Chutes, or the Piranha and Montka, but you know, like that type of thing where somebody's going to get a benefit some way or another. So maybe into that, it's time to put maybe a Boom Deck of Snazwagon or two. A roadblock that debuffs, gets you some points. Has grenades again, like even if you don't want to rely on the shooting or the melee, it has that score you some points. And then if it blows up, guess what? You careen down to it. Now, I guess I should at least pull up a truck. And it does have the added benefit of if it blows up, there's a chance that it has emergency deployed a unit. And it has a D3 Deadly Demise compared to 1 for 15 less points. But, you know, it's interesting. It doesn't seem like Cult of Speed is getting played anytime soon. So, just some food for thought of if you want to take a buggy, specifically the Boom Deck of Snazwagon, maybe check it out in Warhorde. See if that does anything for you. And if you've been testing Gas and Tactical Brigade, tell me how that's going for you. So yeah, if you liked the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.